The Fulani bandits don't go attack a close village where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kept in prison in Sokoto. That means they are a few minutes away from that Sokoto prison. My people, if I tell you wetin dey happen now, una no go believe. Things are truly happen. So the reason why you are seeing these pictures of Igbo governors in this news today, I am drawing the attention. His Excellencies Hope Uzodinma, Peter Mba, the governor of Anambra State Soludo, the governor of Abia State, which is Nnayukwale Soti, and the Wifere of Ebonyi State. I'm also calling the governor of Delta State. So please, there is fire on the mountain. This blood is not gonna be safe for you guys, because the number one work people blood will do is locate you anywhere you like, unless you prison yourself and you will not come outside. It's locate, because you people will run and leave the state empty. So before you start running, do something that will, at least, even though you run, people will save you. Mobilize the local vigilante. I said mobilize local vigilante. I'm going to talk more in the next video, but let's jump inside the videos we'll get for our hand today. I'm going to play this video, may you watch. The lawmakers inside Nigeria don't they beg Tinubu, making beg Nigeria police may they not withdraw their security. Say if they do so, that means bandits go attack them. Because if you are doing good work, why will they attack you? If you are doing good work, why will you be afraid? If you people have done something good, why will you be afraid? In Europe, you will see a lawmakers. You will see a judge moving freely. You will see a governor of a state. He may live close to you, safe. You don't even know him. He's walking freely with bicycles. So this is how it can be done. I don't know why Africa have this mentality, moving with thousands of convoy, with police, with all these things. The police that are supposed to work and protect the life and property of the people are now assigned to you guys. But let me remember you, the governors of eastern part of Nigeria. If anything happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you people cannot control this emotional game you people are playing. Let's leave Alibo and let nothing happen to Alibo. Let us not destroy our Alibo. That mat will bend before you start speaking. You people have convicted him. We relax. We are hoping that if people do something and release him, because we know that that is a fake convicting. Why the Boko Haram, who have bite so many people, was given 20 years imprisonment, which is 10 years. Somebody who did not do anything, who you never see with gun, you never see with any weapon, was sentenced to life imprisonment. Could you imagine? I don't know. I don't really know how we'll get here. How do the Igbo people get this side we'll get? I don't really know. So, and those people like Kengurag, Jele, Wankata, all of them, now that is Fulani approaching to Alibo. I hope that Igbo you claim that you love, you are protecting. Please recruit men that will defend your villages. I don't want to hear that they are attacking in Abuja and you running to Igbo land. You know that you're not going to be safe. No police, your DSS will come back with you. The people will use Opiri. They will use Opiri and knock your head. Let us watch the videos before we come back and continue. Something is terribly happening and our people are sleeping so much. I don't know how and when we're going to wake up. So watch the videos.
Breaking news reaching my table. Breaking news. Please come in and settle down. Just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down and listen. Because they are testing the microphone. They have started testing the microphone. Bandits, Fulani bandits, have just attacked Sokoto State. Yes, just 10 minutes away from the Sokoto prison where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is. This happened early in the morning today in Rabat, local government which is 10 minutes away from the prison if you are driving on a very good speed. But I want everybody to calm down, because in this kind of time, you do not panic. Do not panic. Remain formidable while I take you on this video and expose a lot of things for you. Because actually, it seems as if they are testing the microphone. They are actually testing that microphone very hard. The story says, listen very carefully, the story says here that terrorists have launched a deadly attack on Tofa community in the Rabba local government area of Sokoto State, leaving several residents dead, many others injured, and some whisked away into the bush. Residents said the attackers stormed the village in large numbers, firing sporadically, and they moved from house to house. Now, I want you to pay attention, because I did a search and I found out that that local government is very close to Sokoto State, prison itself. As you can see on your screen, you see the Google map, you observe that that over there is, the Sokoto State prison, and that is the community itself that it happened. And the distance, if you are using a bike, is about 25 to 30 minutes. But if you are using a car, if you are using a normal, good car that can drive normal speed from 100, 120, 150 kilometer, that will take you 10 minutes, highest 12 minutes away from the Sokoto State Prison itself. And that, of course, is a very big sign that somebody is testing the microphone. Because tell me, a big attack like that happened very close to the prison. If not that it fulfills the proverb that says that when a witch cries in the night and a child dies in the morning, something fishy is actually going on. Sometime during the day also, Aloy Ejimako and Prince Kanu, alongside his wife, touched down on Sokoto, itself, to pay Nnamdi Kanu a visit also. So that will also be a good one, because right now, even in the prison, the whole inmates, including Nnamdi Kanu, would have gotten, abreast of this particular incident, of course. And of course, they're going to give feedback to Aloy Ejimako to carry back to Abuja to brief the whole lawyers and to brief everybody on what next the action is going to take. So welcome Aloy Ejimako and the brother of Nnamdi Kanu and his wife to Sokoto. You are very welcome. Please go and be with Kanu and also discuss a lot of things as regards this appeal, which we are still waiting for good news about. Back to the attack on the Sokoto community, which is very, very close to the prison. Definitely, we know very well when this whole, sentencing was carried out, that this was a calculated attempt to give Nnamdi Kanu to the Fulani Janjaweed, to place him in their territory, to place him under close monitoring, and of course, to also find a way to also do something fishy like this, because I have not slept since he was sentenced to Sokoto State. Of course, that state is the border between Niger Republic and Nigeria. A lot of things going on in the border, a lot of cross-border terrorism, kidnapping, cross-border robbery going on in that Sokoto State. The supreme leader of the Fulani is in charge of that state. If you ask me, I'll tell you, this is a strange coincidence. This is a strange coincidence because 10 minutes away from Sokoto prison, in a prison housing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was just sent to Sokoto prison just a few days ago, and now they are almost attacking the prison. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is a test run. That's why I say, who is testing the microphone? We know that Nnamdi Kanu being sent to Sokoto prison is significant, because Sokoto is the seat of the caliphate. And of course, this was done in special requests by the caliphate. We know. But we close our mouths. We don't talk. Why? Because we are Igbos. We are not afraid of wherever we are. When you play the games you play as Nigeria and you think you are manipulating the Igbos, you are not manipulating the Igbos. We just keep quiet and we do our talking and we do our normal conversations. But whatever game you play, we are aware. 10 minutes away from Sokoto prison, housing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is too close for comfort. So talk to your terrorists and talk to your bandits. Whatever plan, whatever game you are up to, it's time to start checkmating it. It's time to start correcting it. Nnamdi Kanu is not the person. It's not the person to play such games with. I don't want to believe this is a one-off. I don't want to believe that this is normal terrorist attack. I don't want to believe that this is just a normal thing that happened in your state. I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe, because nobody is going to believe it when it happens. Nobody is going to hear that. If you're going to send Nnamdi Kanu to Sokoto State, you must be sure that you're going to pick him in one piece when we want him. You say his family should not be close to him. You say his friends should not be close to him. You say the courts should not be close to him. But you want bandits and terrorists to have access to him. You want janjaweeds to have access, unfettered access to him. How can bandits have access to a prison 10 minutes away from a prison? 10 minutes. How is that possible? You claim that Kuje prison, Borno Bauchi, Kano prison, Kaduna and other prisons around Nasarawa are not enough for Kanu. They're not safe for Kanu. But you have a prison you put him in that terrorists are just 5 to 10 minutes away operating. What stops them from operating in that prison? What stops them from jailbreaking that prison, knowing very well that they have their own members who are locked up inside there? What stops them from having a rogue unit that will be told to go inside there and commit fishy crimes that we're suspecting? What stops them? In Nigeria, that we all know, the most porous country security-wise, a country that's opened up their prison for ISWAP to come in and blow up in the capital of Abuja, a country that several prison breaks has been happening. Is this same country you are telling me that these terrorists cannot get Sokoto prison and commit a crime there? I am saying this clearly because the Igbos have been calm, quiet, controlled, disciplined, formidable like how they've always been anywhere. They don't cause trouble. Very peaceful people. They have been calmed since the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. Please, let it remain like that. Whoever is trying to test the microphone should better drop the microphone. Drop it. Drop the microphone, because you don't want the noise you will get from the microphone if you speak on that microphone. Stop testing the microphone. You know, this country, Nigeria, they don't learn. They don't learn from history. Very stubborn country. Very stubborn. You think that a group of people have the power over others? Is what you think? Is what you think? That guns and bombs are the power? Please, I'm just saying this very clearly, unequivocally. The relative peace that is going on around the country, let me say relative peace, because it's not full-blown yet. The kidnappers, the terrorists operating, everything fine. They are still relative peace because they are hiding and they are doing it. Do not start a problem with a major tribe in Nigeria. Please keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu safe in that prison you have chosen for him. It is your duty to keep him safe. It is your duty to protect him. It is your duty to make sure that you provide him anytime people ask for him, because he is a prisoner and prisoners have rights to their lives. Not tomorrow you will say it was just an attack. We do not know. After all, it was terrorists that did it. It was bandits. It's not us. We don't know when it happened. It can happen to anybody. You will be complicit, oh. You will be complicit to anything happening to Kanu. You will be complicit. Keep him man safe. If you know that Sokoto is not okay for him, send him back. Send him back to Kuje. Send him back to Anambra, Enugu, anywhere, so that he will be peacefully do his thing in peace. There are a lot of prisons in Nigeria. The white man built enough, and the black man added more prisons. So prisons is even more than schools in Nigeria. Choose the right prison and put Nnamdi Kanu. Had I known, Nigeria, a country that does not learn from its history. Nigeria should not plunge Nigeria into something else. Stubbornness. So let's see you next video. Peace.
A withdrawal that the order that has been given, I think, if we are not careful, there will be more now, because I watched a film of a video of one of the kidnappers or bandits boasting that they are going to get the head of the Mr. President, they are going after politicians, and they are going after, and these people are all repentant. Mr. Speaker, respect colleagues, I want to say that without missing words. So I want to appeal that order, there's need to review that order.
There was a conviction recently of a terrorist, Boko Haram. I believe his name is Hussaini Ismail. He was convicted for 20 years by a high court. He was a Boko Haram terrorist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted, I think, last week, and his own conviction said life sentence. I don't understand why one terrorist is getting 20 years and the other is getting a life sentence if you're saying that. I think Pastor made a good point. There's this idea that justice is served differently. My name is Honorable Mohammed Bello El Rufai. I represent the excellent people of Kaduna North. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I'll try and be as quick as possible. It was a long day and I came late because I was unwell. Let's do this quickly. Short term, the President has rolled out a clear plan that we commend. A lot of my colleagues have rightly spoken about this and I agree. But our problem is not announcing plans. It's executing them with clear timelines. This Parliament must insist upon those timelines based on the President's recommendations. One thing I would like to add, Mr. Speaker, in addition to the recruitment, is the need for us to increase immediately the basic salaries and the welfares of police officers and soldiers. And we must find the money to do that. At present, Nigeria, put it this way, one police officer manages 600 Nigerians. The UN recommends that ratio should be 1 to 400. We are understaffed. The President has tackled that. That's one point in terms of the short-term solution. And I think, sir, you leadership and committee chairman like Honorable Jimmy Benson should keep an eye on this execution. We can't just make announcements. Let's say by February, we're about to see X, Y, Z. That will help. In the medium term, sir, there was a conviction recently of a terrorist, Boko Haram. I believe his name is Hussaini Ismail. He was convicted for 20 years by a high court. He was a Boko Haram terrorist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was convicted, I think, last week, and his own conviction said life sentence. I don't understand why one terrorist is getting 20 years and the other is getting a life sentence if you're saying that. I think Pastor made a good point. There's this idea that justice is served differently, and it affects the problem. Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude by saying this. I've been an advocate of state police. I've sought the wisdom of more experienced members like Honorable Sada Soli, Honorable Adodogwa, even yourself and the Speaker. I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Somebody said that earlier. We cannot be sitting in Abuja and expecting operations to be efficient in Benue. We have to go back to communal policing. You that are older than us always tell us there was a time when if a guest comes to a community, everybody knows him. We have to get the traditional leaders involved and go back to state policing. This Parliament, under your leadership, and I know the excellent work you're doing in the Constitutional Review Committee, is looking at that. Sir, no time for election talk now. We have to tell the public a timeline to roll this out. The fear that governors will abuse it always shocks me because they already have all that power. I'll finally end by putting myself in trouble as usual. The North has an issue. My honorable sister mentioned why we've become a breeding ground for such things. This is why. We are not sending our children to school. Of late, you have bandits on TikTok holding monies. The younger people, younger than myself, that have no employment and no skill because we've neglected them. It's a failure on all our parts over the years. Mr. Speaker, these young people go on TikTok and see a criminal holding minted cash. He's suddenly exciting. You want to emulate him. Mr. Speaker, we can do whatever we want to do in terms of FDI, IGR, investments, but we are failing in our primary duty, which is to protect the people we serve. We must increase the welfare of police officers. Recruitment should not be by allocation, sir. Each state should provide the exact amount of numbers. It should be digitized. We should look for young Nigerians that want to join the army to serve, not because it's a job that's seen as something else. I'm sorry if I spoke too friendly, Mr. Speaker. We are relying on you and the members of the Constitutional Review Committee to not only follow up with the President's excellent announcement, but to finally roll out state police in this country. I hope I made my point, and I really appreciate the session today. And once again, sorry I came late. Thank you so much.
30 seconds more. You still have another 30 seconds.
Oh, I thought I didn't have time, Mr. Speaker. Fine, with the 30 seconds, let me... Sir? What? No, sir. I think the reason why I spoke like that, Mr. Speaker, is the passion is enough. You said something that I appreciated, and Honorable Benson said something earlier, and I was at fault. Shagai and I we were joking about something, and then you said this is not a funny matter. It's not. I also would like to implore all of us here. This is not a time for weddings, for events, as you rightly said, for dinners or public. You know, we should show that.
Time up, Honorable Rufai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. He finished making his speech. You gave him 10 minutes to redo his speech. All right. That brings us to the closing section of our 3 days engagement. And I want to thank the Parliament for showing dedication, patriotism, consistency. Some of you have sat here for 3 days. And Nigeria is watching. You did not come to the Parliament just to speak and go. You sat here to listen to every conversation, to note every opinion, so that when the resolution comes, you will not be surprised what you see on the resolution, because you were part of the debate. I want to thank you for being a true parliamentarian. And for those who also had other assignments to attend to, I want to thank them for participating in these deliberations. I'm sure Nigeria is listening. I'm sure the executives, they are listening even before our resolution comes out. We've noticed the body language of the executive, and today I started by reading the letter from Mr. President, which has answered most of our deliberations. And if there are more for him to look at, the executive, we are sure by the time the resolution is out, they will all be taken care of. Let me also announce, so that you can tell others, that there'll be another level of this engagement at the villa with the First Lady tomorrow. We'll continue this engagement, but at a different level, to deepen the conversation, to deep dive the more. It will be happening at the villa by 6 o'clock. We are advised to come by 5. Banquet hall tomorrow. So that as a parliamentarian that the First Lady is or was, we'll be able to also pick her brain, and she will pick all ours with regards to supporting the various policies that will help us achieve this national objective, which is paramount and on the front burner of our agenda as a parliament. Having said that, I want to ask that the leader move that we adjourn this sitting till next week, Tuesday. We are going to continue another set of debates next week, but this time it's going to be on the Constitution. We will confirm to you before that.
If I'm not mistaken, that man sitting down there is from Abia State. He is the one who wants to hand over Abia State to APC, if I'm not mistaken. So, are you trying to tell me that you don't have anything to answer this Erufai son concerning the judgment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Could you imagine? He never said anything about it, and he dived to another thing. He dodged the question, he dodged the movement, he dodged the observation, and he keeps saying another thing. So to tell you that is we are our own problem. But you see this Nigeria that all of us love, all of us want to die for, let us be ready for it. People who get it is coming to take it. Stay tuned.